Good evening. Welcome to tonight's special report on the Freedom Convoy of Canadian truckers, where we'll call freedom a dangerous fringe concept in order to intimidate you into obedience, because our house of cards is on the verge of crumbling. So please listen up. What's all this mean? In Canada, a massive trucking convoy involving 50,000 truckers, stretching 70 kilometers long, has driven across Canada from Vancouver to Canada's capital city, Ottawa. Upon hearing this news, many Americans have responded by saying, "I didn't know Ottawa was Canada's capital." The truckers are representing the voices of Canadians who have been silenced and ignored under the regime of tyrannical minister Justin Trudeau and his freedom-atrophying mandates. Trudeau, who has tried to keep Canadians locked in their homes for 2 years in order to protect them from freedom, has also gone to the extent of arresting pastors from churches in order to protect his regime's right to take away religious freedoms and all other freedoms from people. But what does Justin Trudeau have to say about the Freedom Convoy that's standing up against his mandates?
The small fringe minority of people who are on their way to Ottawa or who are holding unacceptable views that they're expressing do not represent the views of Canadians.
Freedom is an unacceptable view? It is to Mr. Pledge Allegiance to Communism, and it's a small fringe minority holding unacceptable views that don't represent Canadians? Okay.
We're looking for freedom, that's the only thing.
That's right. The Freedom Convoy opposes Canadians rather than representing them. That makes perfect sense. And as you can see, no Canadians came out supporting the Canadian Truckers for Freedom because the truckers don't represent Canadians. We have yet to receive word who all these people were in Canada waving Canadian flags supporting the truckers, but we'll bring you that information as soon as it becomes clear. Oh, and what do you call them again?
Small fringe minority.
That's right. And apparently the small fringe minority is so fringe that it's actually the majority, which is a very fringe thing for the minority to do. And in truth, freedom is a very fringe concept for a person who's trying to do a tyrannical takeover of a country. It's like, not helpful at all. And just look how stylish Trudeau thinks he is. He doesn't look like a tyrant. Let's just trust him. This just in! On a PR front that works in Trudeau's favor, he at least looks a lot less sociopathic than all the other tyrants that are trying to dissolve freedoms around the world. But he is just as sociopathic, very willing to inflict harm on the people that he thinks he rules over in order to protect them. And as Trudeau claims the Freedom Convoy does not represent Canadian voices, we know that Trudeau does represent Canadian voices. Just watch these Canadians affirming how much he represents them.
You've sold us out to globalism.
Okay.
You are not working for Canada. You are working for your globalist partners. I wonder how much they're paying you to betray Canada. What do we do with traitors in Canada, Mr. Trudeau? We used to hang them for treason. And you're doing that very same thing to us now. We know what you're doing.
As we've just seen, Trudeau is the voice that represents Canadians. But then why would the Freedom Convoy need to stand up against him? Well, according to the Babylon Bee, Trudeau says the truckers only hate him because he's black. In the non-black face of the Freedom Convoy, in an effort to further liberate Canadians from freedom, Trudeau had the province of Nova Scotia quickly change a law making it illegal for people to gather alongside highways. This was an effort to block people from showing support to the truckers, threatening them with a $10,000 fine. This, of course, because the small fringe minority of a 70-kilometer long Freedom Convoy does not represent Canadians. By the way, the truckers are such a small fringe minority that they shattered the world record for the longest convoy by almost a factor of 10. At this point, the truckers have arrived in the capital, Ottawa. Here's what the scene looks like, with tens of thousands of Canadians joining the Truckers for Freedom.
And they say they're not a fringe minority, claiming more Canadians share this.
Small fringe minority holding unacceptable views do not represent the views of Canadians.
Yeah, that's right, Justin. So who are all these people pretending to be the majority of Canadians?
I'm never sure.
Nobody knows, Justin. But here's what Elon Musk has to say about it. It would appear that the so-called fringe minority is actually the government. That's what one of the greatest minds on earth has to say about it. So it's probably inaccurate. But what's one of the most tyrannical minds on earth have to say about it?
Do not represent the views of Canadians who have been there for each other, who know that following the science and stepping up to protect each other.
Stepping up to protect each other from you, Justin. But just as the Freedom Convoy arrived at the Capitol, Trudeau got COVID. What a bummer. He was probably really eager to address the people that he's harming and super eager to hear what they have to say. But now he can't do it because he has to isolate and can't go out in public for 5 days. What are the odds? But the Freedom Convoy said, no problem, we'll wait. But why can't we all just be sensible and see that Trudeau's mandates might take away freedom, yet they'll protect people from getting COVID the way they protected Trudeau from getting the COVID that he just got. Always eager to serve the people and be accountable for his actions, Trudeau then responded by courageously going into hiding. The PR release said he's going into hiding for his safety, which is a great way to say it, because that means the Canadian representative of the Chinese Communist Party is not only too scared to face the people that he's trying to take freedoms from, it also means he's trying to frame the freedom-loving truckers as dangerous. Very noble and honest of him, because these freedom-loving truckers are so dangerous that Trudeau has to run for his safety, or the safety of his narrative, but who's counting? Now, what did the internet have to say about Trudeau courageously running and hiding? Well, Dr. Jordan Peterson said, "Come out of hiding, puppet, and face the music." Interesting point, Dr. Peterson, but to counter that, here's Trudeau in blackface again. Real picture. And here's a picture of Trudeau in tyrant face. Trudeau was born in 1971 and currently resides in 1984. As Trudeau is hiding while tinkling in his pants, is his iron fist of tyranny in Canada falling apart? Well, it appears as though the Freedom Convoy is being heard by other politicians who allegedly serve the people. Scott Moe, the premier in the province of Saskatchewan, has come out and thanked the truckers, as well as pledging to drop the mandates in his province. This just in! He will not be thanked for handing freedoms back to Canadians because the freedoms were never his to take in the first place. Yet, it's empowering to know the Freedom Convoy of truckers, who don't represent Canadians, are already making a powerful difference for Canadians. And Member of Provincial Parliament Randy Hillier has spoken up, saying Trudeau has engaged in an act of domestic terrorism. He's also said, Canadians have come out in massive numbers from every walk of life, from all the diversity of our great nation, saying this ends now. It's time their governments listen to them. Will Trudeau's mandates and authoritarian rule continue to fall apart as Trudeau has sold out his entire country to a global agenda? Or will his country continue to be sold on him? And is the Freedom Convoy of truckers just the beginning? We'll see. Canadians get to decide. Oh, this just in. Canadians, you're brave people, and we Americans support you and are standing with you in your quest for your freedom and the freedom for your children and grandchildren. Wait a minute. Who the hell wrote this? We'll be keeping you up to date on continued developments as Canadians are fighting back. For now, we'll leave you with footage from the two sides so you can decide who you're more inspired by and who you think represents the majority of Canadians.
As we can see from the visuals coming from Cornwall, that they are all practicing social distancing as they gear up for a photo opportunity.
So lockdowns are more dangerous than the so-called COVID.
I'm just here for everybody's freedom. They're saying that we're white supremacists. They're saying that we're racist. I haven't seen any of that.
What Wilder wants you to know is because of censorship, the only way you and I can ensure we stay connected is by having you join my Awaken Warrior newsletter list at awakenwithjp.com/join me. Right, Wilder? Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. I was just busy not getting bombarded with EMFs. Which is why I want to thank the sponsor today, BlueBlox, and their EMF protection devices. I really value this technology, so now I always have the EMF harmonizing sticker on my phone and always have the anti-radiation laptop mat under my computer. Well, why do you need protection from EMFs, JP? Well, I choose to protect myself from them because research has shown that mobile phones and Wi-Fi enabled devices radiate an electromagnetic field that's a potentially harmful charge. Then the parts of your body nearest the device can absorb this radiation, and some studies have found a link between mobile phones and cancer. But the EMF harmonizing sticker releases negative ions which help neutralize the charge from the harmful ions released by your phone or other devices. Similarly, with the anti-radiation laptop mat, BlueBlox's anti-radiation technology has been added to successfully block up to 99% of extremely low frequency radiation. And it also significantly reduces the amount of heat that reaches your lap from your computer. Because protecting the cells of my body is ultra important to me, the EMF harmonizing sticker and the anti-radiation laptop mat have earned a place in my life. If you want to improve your health and increase the quality of your life by reducing the amount of EMFs your body absorbs, check out these new devices at blueblocks.com/JP and be sure to use a discount code JP to get 15% off.